Welcome to the Sooners 360 Recruiting Podcast. I'm Chris Mason, lead recruit analyst for Sooners 360. This video is sponsored by Sooners 360 on Patreon. To support this video, please go to patreon.com/Sooners360-817 and click subscribe. It's only $2 a month, and there's also a free trial option. And I'll be posting regular recruiting content on the Patreon site. The link is also in the description below. And Sooners 360 is part of the Believe podcast network. Every team, every topic, everywhere. This video covers the recent commitment to OU by 2026 quarterback Jaden O'Neal. So the recruiting process for a 2026 kid is obviously slightly different. I won't be talking about any official visits because he can't take any until next spring. So how did this work? So it began initially with OU offering Jaden in early spring. Then Jaden took a number of unofficial visits during the spring, including visiting OU. And once he visited Norman, the buzz the chatter between OU and O'Neal started to build. In addition, OU was starting to get some attention from Florida quarterback Deron Coleman, and starting to hear more from Illinois quarterback Jonas Williams. So Jaden made it clear that he was going to camp at OU over the summer, and it looked like OU wanted the three quarterbacks that they had kind of broken from the pack to all come to the camp session so OU could see them in person, watch them throw, coach them up, interact, get a really great chance to interact with them. So as the camp appearance became closer and closer, the buzz between OU and O'Neal sort of became greater. O'Neal did take sort of a barnstorming trip across the country, visiting a whole lot of camps. I mean, he has over 20 offers. FSU, he visited UT and threw at UT. Texas focused on a different quarterback, Bell, who verbaled to them. He went to places like got offers from Tennessee and Oregon. He also threw at Ohio State and got an offer. So this barnstorming trip sort of set up his recruiting, where he was able to really compare OU to other schools and able to get more offers. But what really sealed everything was his visit to OU during the camp session on Thursday. I believe the date is June 13th. He was in Norman for basically 3-4 days. His high school teammate, Mark Hennichu from Narbonne, California, was in on an official visit as well. So I think Jaden was able to kind of, tag along on a little bit of that. He was just, he's on campus, but he also got to throw at the OU camp event, and he had a fantastic camp performance. His passing skills were amazing. Everybody who saw him was just OU Twitter blew up. Everyone was talking about how fantastic Jaden O'Neal looked, and then then it became reasonably clear that I think Jaden had let the coaches know that he was probably going to verbal, because Jonas Williams, the Illinois quarterback, didn't come in for camp. He was supposed to come in for a camp session. And I think he just Jonas read the writing on the wall and knew that Jaden O'Neal was going to be the OU quarterback. Deron Coleman, who really, really loved OU, looks like he's going to be heading to Miami. He kind of got tipped off and realized, okay, OU's going, as much as he'd like to go to OU, at this point, highly rated quarterbacks, you're not getting two in a class. So where is he ranked? Where is Jaden O'Neal ranked in the big picture of things? So as you can see, he is a composite top 100 4-star on On3 right now, and On3 kind of has him with the lowest ranking of the group. They have him as the 9th ranked quarterback in the country. ESPN has him all the way as number 31 with a top 3 ranking. And then Rivals and 247 are about the same spot. They've got him sort of like right outside the top 50 as a top 5 quarterback in the country. Now, everybody's been talking about, most of these rankings are fairly early still, so there's a lot to shake out. But Jaden has been throwing all across the country. Every time he throws at a place, he looks like a 5-star. He had great camp sessions. So I think it's possible that he's maybe underrated, as the number 78 player in the nation. I think it's much more likely that Jaden's going to move up than move down. And I think he's going to be right in that top 50, top 5 quarterback in the country after his junior film lands. His sophomore film, which we'll show in a minute, was just fantastic. So I think if he builds on all that momentum, that we're talking about a potential 5-star top 30 quarterback, I think is probably the ceiling for Jaden's rankings. So really the highest rated quarterback for OU since Jackson Arnold, and really, one of back to almost the Lincoln Riley, 5 stars every other year kind of ranking kind of player. So what does he look like on film? So it's nice that their huddle video is broken up into different categories. So first, it's just look at the arm talent, this smooth, beautiful passing motion where he's just flying the ball downfield right into the bucket of the receiver over their shoulder, and the receiver being the only player who can really catch the ball. And when he's just throwing that ball, that's 50 yards, hitting the receiver in stride with just this beautiful pass. Again, another just down into the sort of the chimney hole, right into the wide receiver's hands. I think he has the prettiest, most consistent deep pass from a high school quarterback that I've seen in a long time. If it was just that arm, that would be one thing. But as you can see here from these highlights, he's doing a great job getting rid of the football, having pocket awareness, knowing what to do when the pocket breaks down. You see the pocket's starting to break down here. He doesn't panic. He just resets, throws the ball downfield for another bomb for a touchdown. So his calmness in the pocket and ability to create even while the pocket's kind of collapsing is I think it's one of the features that separates him. He's also able to make just sort of something out of nothing with that throw. Again, this is the sort of the classic move up in the pocket, hit the wide receiver for a deep touchdown. So I think you see his ability to just reset, also throw off different platforms. That pass is just, again, it's to only the wide receiver can catch that. Just a dart to the sideline. In the Sooner camp, the velocity and pace of his passes was just amazing. Again, he's just another dart to the wide receiver, hitting them in stride. So it's just, and he takes a little bit of a sidearm motion there, takes a little bit off it to just hit the wide receiver. Again, another great back shoulder throw. Emmanuel Choice, who I just covered, will sort of eat up those passes as a big receiver. Again, another dart into the corner of the end zone for the big receiver to pull down. And then another accurate pass over the middle, takes a little off of it, a little bit of a sidearm motion. Here he's throwing on the run, throwing, as he's moving to his left. Finally, he has what I would call good functional mobility, right? He can avoid tackles, and then that's a great pass throwing on the run from a sort of a different platform. So he can avoid pass rushers, has a good feel for them. Here you see he's escaping all the coverage, and nice run to move the sticks. So he's very aware of not taking hits. He's not trying to bulldoze over folks. Again, another example of him flush out of the pocket and just making a very accurate throw to the sideline. So he's got good mobility here. He's got good functional speed. And again, you see he's sliding, getting down. He knows that, moving the sticks is great, but living the fight for the other day. Here he takes a little bit of a hit as he runs to the sideline to move the sticks, but he's just, he's running to, this is another example, running to your left as a righty. That's where you usually can sometimes get in trouble, but he has a different, he takes a little more of a sidearm motion to straighten, to get some pace on the ball. Another example here, finding the open wide receiver. So he has the classic, I'm going to move the chains mobility and the mobility to take advantage of plays in the pocket. So if I had to think about maybe a comp for him, size-wise, he's a big kid. He's about 6'3", 210 right now. So he could be 6'3", 6'4", 225 by the time he enrolls at OU. So he's a bigger kid than Jackson Arnold or even Caleb Williams. So physically, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Deshaun Watson, the Clemson quarterback. But playmaking-wise, his composure and his ability to just hit receivers downfield with just accuracy and consistency. It's hard not to see a little Caleb Williams in his game, and I think his film is just it's excellent. Again, I come back to it. That pocket awareness and ability to reset, move side to side, or move up in the pocket to complete passes is just it's a high level skill for a high school sophomore quarterback. So what does this mean for OU recruiting, for quarterback recruiting? So it's impossible to overstate how big a commitment this is for OU in terms of building the 2026 class. Quarterbacks are usually the linchpin in any class, and O'Neal seems to have some of that star power charisma to him, where you could see that he might be able to help OU raise the 2026 class possibility up a notch or two, just because you've got this talented quarterback in the class who's got, again, who has 5-star potential. On one side, with Marcus Harris in 2025 and now Jaden O'Neal in 26, we have to wonder if we're going to see a resurgence in OU in California. Both of those guys are high-profile, big names. Harris from Mater Dei, O'Neal from a smaller school, but still a place that produces Division I talent. But both guys have been big in the campus circuit. Lots of California guys know who they are. So that's going to be an interesting story to track. If OU is able to open California up again as a pipeline, that makes OU's recruiting just a lot more interesting. For the QB recruiting position, this is, again, a huge win for new offensive coordinator Seth Luttrell. For a while, the worry used to be, what would OU do recruiting quarterbacks after Lincoln Riley was gone? And then Jeff Lebby grabbed Jackson Arnold, Michael Hawkins, and Kevin Sperry, so that really didn't become a concern. But then Jeff Lebby left, and I think, folks, were legitimately concerned, could be legitimately concerned about how quarterback recruiting was going to go. Kevin Sperry obviously stayed in the 2025 class, but, he was that's more of Jeff Lebby and Sperry really connecting with the OU program than anything else. But, Luttrell just out of the block getting Jaden O'Neal, is there any worry with quarterback recruiting? I don't think so. And, and to that point, Seth Luttrell has already offered a couple of 2027 quarterbacks as well. So and those two guys camped at OU, principally Trey Taylor and Peyton Houston, and they both look really good. So it looks like quarterback recruiting is in great hands. I love O'Neal on film. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I've been talking him up for months. I think this is a massive addition when you think about Jaden O'Neal being potentially a top 5 quarterback. I think Jonathan Hatton is going to be a top 5 running back. Both could be 5-star guys easily. And OU hasn't had sort of a 5-star running back quarterback combo since I think Adrian Peterson and Rhett Bomar, to be honest. So, that's a great setup. Obviously, you've got Ryder Mix as the tight end. O'Neal's been very clear that he wants Caden Jones, the OU legacy Jenks running back, as part of the 26 class as well. So that would be another, star elite skill player added to the mix if O'Neal's able to make that work. But I think it's just, wide receivers will see the Jaden O'Neal film and be like, Emmett Jones? And it's not like Emmett Jones is having problems recruiting wide receivers either. So I think, O'Neal will only help in that fact, help that case with wide receivers seeing his film and seeing, this guy can get me the ball. So big pickup for OU, huge commitment. Thanks for watching. Please go ahead and click subscribe and click like, give us a thumbs up. All those things help our videos and help the distribution of these videos to get to Sooner fans. So thanks everyone for watching, and we will be back with the next commitment video when OU gets another commitment.